check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation. I don't think I'm revealing anything new when I say that the New England Patriots have won a lot of AFC championships. Like, a lot of AFC championships. Not only have the Patriots played in 15 of these games, appearing in more than 1 out of every 4, but they've won 11, which is hands down the most AFC championship wins, or conference championship wins, of any team in the NFL by a fairly comfortable margin. No other team has more than 8, and here are the Patriots with 11, appearing what felt like every Super Bowl under the sun during the 21st century and the reign of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. It's actually kind of amazing when, in 2017, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that had never even so much as sniffed the Super Bowl, going up against a team that had made it to 6 straight conference championships by that point, where it just felt like any ordinary Sunday in New England. The Pats have made so many AFC championships that, and this is true, if you go to the Patriots Hall of Fame and watch the film on their history and the highlights of Pats history and whatnot, a good chunk of the AFC championships are outright ignored. Even if they won the game, they're merely afterthoughts. Patriots fans in the 21st century were spoiled with success. I think it's fair to say that they know what winning an AFC championship is like, because they basically did it every freaking year. And if you want to know what NFL history was like, then this is the place for you, because we talk about all things NFL history all the time with a new video and a new live stream every single day. So if you like that sort of stuff, then be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel. Thanks in advance for your support as we try and hit 70,000 subscribers. However, the first time the Patriots played in the AFC Championship, let's just say that the fans got a bit too excited, to the point where it resulted in disaster. We know the story about what happened the first time they hosted the AFC Championship in January of 1997 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the entire ticketing fiasco that came from that. You can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner. But during their first actual appearance in the game in January of 1986, moments after the Patriots players won and felt on top of the world and had achieved the pinnacle of their professional careers, they were left fearing for their lives in something that, considering regulations today, I'm willing to guarantee could not happen in 2025. And nearly 4 decades later, it deserves a deep dive for just how crazy it was. Because this is the story behind the disaster at the 1985 AFC Championship, and one of the craziest disasters in conference championship history. Before I talk about the actual incident in question, we need some context to understand how the actual game itself went, and why Pats fans were celebrating in the first place. It's January 12, 1986, and we're down in Miami at the Orange Bowl for the AFC Championship between the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. No one is giving the Pats much of a chance at winning this game. For one, New England entered the playoffs as a wild card and needed to win their final game of the season against the Cincinnati Bengals just to make it here. Compare that to the Dolphins, a team that had won 8 straight games and was the defending AFC champion and was led by the best quarterback in football at the time in Dan Marino, and it was like night and day. Plus, the Patriots could not win at the Orange Bowl. Not only did the Dolphins win the first meeting here a few weeks before on Monday Night Football, but the Dolphins beat the Patriots at the Orange Bowl in 1984, and in 1983, and in 1982, and in 1981, and well, you get the idea. The Dolphins had won a whopping 16 straight games against the Patriots at the Orange Bowl, to the point where the last time the Patriots won there, it was 1969, which was when both teams were still in the AFL, when Don Shula was not the coach of the team, and when the Patriots were still known as the Boston Patriots. There were legitimately people old enough to drive who were not alive the last time the Patriots won a game in Miami, and they played each other every year in Miami. Asking the Patriots to win a game in Miami was like asking an army to succeed at invading Russia in the wintertime. It just wasn't going to work out. And to do this in the AFC Championship? Good freaking luck. Well, in an absolutely stunning upset, the Patriots did the unthinkable. For the first time since 1969, they got into Miami and came out victorious, and did it semi-convincingly. When the final whistle sounded, the Patriots won by 3 scores, taking it 31-14 in one of the most shocking results in the history of the AFC Championship. Tony Eason threw 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, and threw more touchdowns than incompletions. The Pats ran it down Miami's throats, running it for 255 yards on a rainy day, and with not 1, not 2, but 3 players accruing over 60 yards rushing. Dan Marino, one of the most effective quarterbacks in football, struggled mightily on this day, throwing 2 interceptions and completing just 41% of his passes, going 20 for 48. This game was, by far, his worst game of the season from a completion percentage standpoint. The Dolphins turned it over 6 times and lost the turnover battle by 4, which is always a bad sign for a team when you're at -4. Good luck winning any games doing that. And the Patriots doubled the Dolphins in terms of time of possession, getting 40 minutes of possession compared to just 20 for the Dolphins. It wasn't just that the Patriots won. They were clearly the better team, and dominated in a way that no one saw coming. Years and years of revenge in the making were worth it for this moment, which was, at the time, the biggest win in Patriots history. For the first time ever, the New England Patriots were on to the Super Bowl, where they would have a date against the Chicago Bears in 2 weeks down at the Superdome. I think the only people happier about this result than Pats fans were Bears fans, because they knew that they matched up way better in the Super Bowl against New England than they did against Miami. And even though the game was in Miami, the Patriots fans were loving every second of it, and were ready to celebrate with the team when they got back home. We've seen this scenario play out many times. A team flies back from a road game, and a group of fans come to the airport to visit them and cheer them on and show their support. With the game scheduled to end around 7 o'clock Eastern, the plan was to have the Patriots on the plane by 9 o'clock, make the roughly 3-hour flight from Miami to Rhode Island, and land at Green Airport by midnight. And when I say that Pats fans showed up in droves for this, I genuinely mean that they showed up in droves. This was their first Super Bowl appearance in franchise history, and to do it against the vaunted Miami Dolphins in a stunning upset, especially seeing as the Pats fans hadn't gotten a chance to show their support and see the team in person during the postseason, because the Pats had to play every game on the road, they were going to come out for this. As John Monroe, one man who came with his 16-month-old son, said on the event, "I've been a Patriots fan for a long time, and after all this time, you get something to root for." Another fan by the name of Bob Delaney said, "We had no choice but to come down here. I've never seen anything like it in my life." They were just 2 of the 20,000 people who went to the airport. Seriously, 20,000 people came to this airport in Rhode Island to greet the Patriots upon their arrival. For some perspective, in January of 2024, Green Airport had 238,000 people flying through it for the entire month, or an average of roughly 7,500 people per day. And now, you were going to have 20,000 fans at one spot, waiting around in sub-freezing temperatures for a plane to land in the middle of the night. If you can't see how this could be a problem, well, let me add 2 other facts to this fact pattern. Number 1, these fans were extremely drunk, which is to be expected. Lots of people watch football while drinking, and these people have been drinking all night in celebration of their team making it to the Super Bowl for the first time ever. So they had a lot of alcohol in their systems, is what I'm getting at here. And number 2, the plane was delayed by 2 hours and didn't land until 2:10 in the morning. What was supposed to be a midnight landing turned into 2:10. So you had a bunch of excited drunk fans who were standing in sub-freezing temperatures, waiting hours upon hours for a plane to land, and then having to wait an extra 2 hours due to the delay. So when that plane landed at this relatively small airport, you knew that all hell was going to break loose, especially seeing as the cops didn't entirely care, with one policeman saying, "Tonight, anything short of murder is let go." I don't mind this. I watched the game myself, and it was a great one. The plane landed, and it was 20,000 drunken fans against 100 cops, who were sort of with the fans on this day. You can see this photo here, showing just how much the fans outnumber the police by. It was a huge margin, 200-1. There was never going to be any control here, because it was at that point where the 20,000 fans started to storm the plane. Seriously, the fans broke through the police line and started charging at the plane, with the fans even so much as throwing beer bottles and beer cans at the plane. Because nothing says celebrating your team winning by clashing with the police and throwing stuff at the plane full of people they are trying to honor. Even though one policeman said that anything short of murder was fine, this was a bridge too far, and they tried reversing course to restore the order. This led to quite a few people getting arrested, including a few for assault on a police officer. And while the Patriots didn't fear the Dolphins on this day, they definitely feared their own fans. They feared for their own lives. As veteran quarterback Steve Grogan said on the fan support, "This is really great, but it's kind of scary. The crowd is out of control." Even though the Patriots were supposed to leave the plane immediately and then hold a rally and a press conference at the airport to celebrate with the fans were too out of control that this could not be done. I mean, the fans literally stormed the plane. You couldn't go through with the original plans. There was no order. Things were so bad that the Patriots had to stay on the plane for an additional 20 minutes, unable to deplane because of the unruly fans mobbing the area. And the podium that was set up nearby, scratch that, the Pats were going to board buses and go back to the stadium right away. They needed a backup plan and an escape route. Especially with how minimal police presence was here, and with how much they were struggling to keep order and control already, no way could you take the chance of unruly, drunken fans storming the stage and mobbing and attacking the players, seeing as they stormed the plane. What was supposed to be a celebratory day turned into nothing short of chaos. And as crazy as it was when the Patriots knocked off the Dolphins in the game between these two teams behind me right here, I think it's fair to say that Patriot fans were not feeling that same Patriot fever 2 weeks later when they played at Super Bowl 20 against the Chicago Bears. The Bears were expected to dominate the Patriots. The Bears won the regular season game between the two teams. The '85 Bears were considered one of the greatest teams of all time. And if the Patriots won this game, it would be considered by many to be one of the craziest, if not the craziest upset in the history of the NFL. And the Bears, to the surprise of no one, took care of business and won it in one of the most lopsided and ugly Super Bowls of all time, winning the game by a final score of 46-10 in what was their first and, to date, only Super Bowl win in franchise history. You can learn more about that game by clicking the card in the upper right corner. Now, even though that game didn't turn out well for the Patriots, they had plenty of more chances to make it to the Super Bowl and win some games after that. I'll put it that way. So as a word to the wise for any Buffalo Bills fans or Washington Commanders fans watching this video right now, if you're watching as of this video getting released, if your team wins and makes it back to the Super Bowl for the first time since the early 90s and pulls off the upset, by all means, go nuts. Go to the airport and celebrate. Greet the team on the way back. Brave the sub-freezing temperatures to cheer on your heroes. Go for it. But don't break through a police line and assault officers and try and storm the plane and throw beer bottles and cans at an aircraft. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that doing so is illegal, it will get you in trouble, and is generally frowned upon. In other words, don't be like Patriots fans after their team won the 1985 AFC Championship, where their actions made it impossible for the team to deplane or hold the rally that they wanted to hold, and made their own team fear for their lives. Because on this day in January of 1986, Patriots fans did way more than just squish the fish. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot, and check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.